It's the first week of the new academic year, and these 300 students have gathered at KIT, the Kiribati Institute of Technology.
It's a real pleasure to be able to speak to you again this week. The reason all of you are here, it's because you're high achievers. So 2012 is going to be a very exciting time.
TVET's technical and vocational education and training, and it's a bilateral aid program funded by AusAid, and they saw the need to strengthen both the Labor Ministry but also KIT. KIT is a very important key provider of vocational education and training in this country.
KIT, that's the only institute in Kiribati that provides those technical trainings.
Unemployment is a huge challenge facing Kiribati today. We get every year about 1,500 job seekers, 2,000 people coming out of the formal education system. Only 10 or 20 get scholarships or proceed further. The majority is the question, what do we do with them? And it's the majority that join the pool of job seekers looking for jobs.
The main goal is to enhance employment opportunities for Kiribati both nationally but most importantly internationally.
Austraining supplies the people and the management support from Australia, and it's Austraining's responsibility to find and recruit the advisors to work on the project.
2 years ago, Joy Pedersen and fellow team members arrived in Kiribati.
We'd been here a couple of days and there was a major fire in the administration building which also damaged a whole block of classrooms, so they were unusable. Luckily we had one of the admin staff had taken home on her memory stick, had taken home some student data, so that was the only records that existed. So that was a clear flag to put in new systems in place.
We got our students to do the renovation rather than send it out to contractors, provided them with some very, very valuable opportunities to apply the skills that they've learned in the classroom and the workshop into a real life situation.
So with English for that first 6 months, while we were just trying to get everything back on track and find out who was here and where the students were and what books we had and get pens and paper back into the classrooms, I spent the first 6 months really exploring the needs of the staff and students.
So, after a near disastrous start, KIT has certainly bounced back and reclaimed its place in the sun.
We are delivering courses now to Australian standards, and when we complete this agreement with TAFE South Australia, we'll be delivering Australian courses to the same standards that are delivered in Australia.
It gives like a second chance to students who do not have the chance to pass to get a scholarship for the first time.
Since we're now being upgraded with the Australian standard, I think that's another chance we can go to overseas. Like if you want to get employed there, you have the qualification that is needed.
I want to be a qualified mechanic, hopefully, and I'm very thankful that I'm gaining an Australian standard.
It's about engaging the students so that their work skills and knowledge is equivalent to anywhere in the world. Australian standards are equivalent to anywhere in the world, so that they'll have those same standards. So we're giving them tastes of lots of different areas, but also then giving them some skills, practical skills in the safety aspects of the electrode technology field. Footings.
The adoption of Australian standards means starting with the very basics.
Make sure it's steady on the base.
Make sure your footings it's not moving.
Not moving, no, good.
The people facing the board, they have to act out whatever words we put up on the board.
Raising the standard of English has been a major priority.
Last year we endorsed and implemented an English language policy at KIT, and it basically means that staff and students are committed to make English the medium, the language of communication and instruction, and that people would be encouraged and not mocked for speaking English.
And there's this saying that our English teachers often encourages us with, it's English, it's your future, your choice.
That's never going to work. All right, well done. Next one, change.
Well, we had an 18-month lead-in to the policy actually being implemented. Reason for that being so that the staff had time to develop their English language skills and their presentation skills, because they're conducting all of their classes in English. So we get all of the trainers together once a week, and they have a 2-hour class focusing on English and or professional development as they need it.
So you don't need to be... It's negotiation, remember?
Negotiation and problem solving, which is one of the modules that they're doing as part of their English classes.
And find the 3 bold headings.
So it's about using the right language at the right time with your superiors to get what you want when you want it. So they're the sort of skills that they need to move up from being lecturers to management positions. A lot of them are going up the ranks to head of schools and assistant head of schools up to deputy principals. So they're moving along those lines. Principal will never say yes. Humour and Kiribati is I don't think I've ever encountered a culture that can laugh at itself so openly and so freely and it be such a positive force.
I think the changes have really been very positive. Like it's to do with upgrading teachers, resources, the curriculum, and as well as the teaching methods. And the students coming in, like we're really seeing all these changes, something exciting, new, and very challenging, but it's something that really helps us to move forward.
In fact, the short-term advisors who come in from Australia sort of say, wow, these people have got real skills in teaching.
Are we ready?
Over time, the senior management here has taken over a lot of my role in terms of managing staff, managing teaching and learning areas and so on, and they already had a lot of skills anyway.
One of the important things about KIT is we want to broaden the opportunities for more of the community to enter into KIT, for us to reach out to not just only school leavers but as many sectors of the community as possible. And therefore, by entering into agreements with different organisations, it means that we can formally engage with those organisations and provide training which is customised directly to their needs.
We came here to give our support to the disabled school. We form up a group of students that's willing to do some practical outside, and it's part of KIT marketing system to promote the skills of the students that are undertaken now.
The Public Utilities Board, PUB, is responsible for the delivery of all electricity and drinking water to the people of South Tarawa. When the new CEO took on the job, he discovered that none of his plumbers or electricians were properly qualified.
The last training or the last program for plumbing was back in 1987.
We want to look specifically about how we can upskill the plumbers and get them assessed and gap trained to Australian standards.
We've got the organisation that actually do the job. Okay, therefore it can become a good training institute for them as well, as especially for work experience.
It's really good to provide meaningful practical work opportunities for our apprentices, and they're out for 12 months looking for useful activities where they can apply their skills but at the same time contribute something to the community.
I guess the things that keep us awake at night at the Ministry of Labour when it comes to Tibet challenges is, at the end of it all, are we able to get jobs for the students that we're training at the KIT?
It's critical that we move our graduates to employment, and the Business Incubator is an organisational unit that will help our students make that transition from being graduates to learning small business skills and engaging with the local community to provide services and hopefully build their own enterprises and their own small businesses.
The money that I've seen invested here, I think, has been well spent. I think the sort of skills that the people have learned here are the sort of skills that they will keep with them wherever they may go or may be, and that could be Australia. But having your neighbours upskilled, having your neighbours part of the region and being able to engage, having the skills to engage meaningfully, I think that's a very worthwhile investment.
Students here, well, I find them amazing. I've been in vocational education and training for 30 years, and they're intelligent, they're motivated, but they actually have a maturity about them. They're articulate, and you couple all that together and overlay it with that charming Kiribati personality, and I think they have enormous potential, not only locally here, but I'd back many of these students in any international labour environment.